Hi everyone, my name is Smita and I'm a solutions architect working for Amazon Web Services. And today I'm going to show you how you can use Amazon CodeWhisperer directly in your command line. CodeWhisperer is your AI powered productivity tool specially designed for programmers. It actually works as a plugin that you install in your IDE. And while you're typing in code, CodeWhisperer is taking in the context of the code in the file and then offering suggestions that might be short auto completions or even whole blocks of code. And all of this happens in real time. Recently, CodeWhisperer team has also released a command line utility which makes it easy to do command completions in your terminal. It also helps with inline documentation and natural language to code translation. And we'll see all of this in our CodeWhisperer command line demo today. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, just want to call out few things here in CodeWhisperer for command line. At the moment, CodeWhisperer for command line is only available for macOS. It supports all the major shells including Bash, Fish, etc. It's also available for all the major terminal, iTerm2, Hyper, and built-in terminals for Visual Studio Code and JetBrains. Along all of this, it also gives 500 plus support for most of the popular CLIs such as Git, AWS, Docker, and Yarn. To use this, you need to do authentication using either your Builder ID for individual license or IAM Identity Center with Professional Code Whisperer license. So with that, let's have a look how it works. To start using Code Whisperer for command line, you need to first install Whisperer for command line. So this is the link where you find all the steps of installing Code Whisperer for command line. This is the utility that you need to download for macOS. And again, CodeWhisperer for command line is only available for macOS at the moment. And then you need to authenticate with your Builder ID or with IAM Identity Center. And after that, you need to install the shell integrations and grant macOS accessibility permissions. After that, you can verify your download using the commands mentioned over here. And that's it. With all these steps mentioned here, you can easily get started with Code Whisperer for command line. So now I have installed Code Whisperer for command line and I have opened the terminal here. So as soon as you type something, Code Whisperer will start giving command line completions in here. And then you can press enter and then you go inside and then it will give, you can just press arrow keys to select what you want and then kind of, press enter. Now, just so Code Whisperer is actually available for AWS CLI as well. So I have AWS CLI installed. So let's see how it works. So let's see if you want to list all the buckets there. Now you can see as you typed AWS, it started giving all the commands for AWS. So if you want to scroll down and look out for more, you can see all the services. The command for all the services are listed here. And it also gives a description. So it says when you look at Athena, down below, it's saying that Amazon Athena Interactive is an interactive query service. And then you can just scroll up and see more what each of the service does. So it gives that meaningful explanation of that. But then I want S3, and then you go for S3 and then you're just pressing enter and then you're listing all the commands that you have for S3. So you don't have to kind of Google and find out which command is for what. And then it also gives you a meaningful description of all the commands. Copies a local file. We have ls, which lists S3. We have mb for create an S3 bucket and so on. So I'm just selecting that ls. At the moment, my credentials are not yet added to the terminal, which is fine, but I just wanted to give you how the command completion works in Code Whisperer command line. So let's say now you want to do certain AWS operations, but then you want to give in natural language. So for that, you need to go into that natural language operations, and that's called CW, which is Code Whisperer AI. And then as you press CodeWhisperer AI. So now if I say list all my S3 buckets, and when you press enter, it will give you what is the command for listing all my S3 buckets. And now it also gives you few other options. You can execute this command directly then and there by pressing enter, or you can just press down arrow and you can edit the command. And then you can regenerate answer, you can ask another questions, or you can cancel the entire operation as well. So let's say if I press the execute command, it will actually execute that command for me. At the moment, I don't have any credentials in my terminal, so it's saying unable to locate credentials. But then, if you have the credentials there in your terminal, it will list all the S3 buckets. But then let's see some more complex operations. So I'll go to my translate shell again, and then I'll say sync my folder to my S3 bucket. So basically sync is a command where you can just sync your folder content to a location in an S3 bucket. And since you just specified that folder to my S3 bucket, it's actually looking for a variable. So it's specifying that folder is a variable and bucket is a variable, but and then creating that command for you, right? So at the time when you're generating that, you will be passing that variable value. But then let's say I was not satisfied with this and I want to specify the folder exact folder name. I'll ask another question and I'll say sync my folder X to my S3 bucket, and I'll give the name my S3 bucket. So if I say that, it is actually generating that command for me. So it's saying that my folder sync the X folder, which is there, to my S3 bucket, my S3 bucket, which is mentioned here. So you can also specify what exactly is the name of the folder, what exactly is the name of the S3 file, S3 bucket, and it will take that. Let me ask another question, and I'll ask to sync my folder X to my S3 bucket, my S3 bucket, but exclude all the temp files. I'll just give this. Okay. So now it's saying it's actually generating that command, which actually is excluding all the temp files and kind of doing that sync from my X folder to the S3 bucket. You can execute that command, and then you just are typing in natural language, and it's generating the command directly, right? Again, it's not only for S3. You can have any other service as well. So let's say I want to create an EC2 Unix instance, and that it's actually giving the entire CLI command for starting that run instance. It's also specifying the AMI for that, and it's specifying that you need one at the moment because you didn't specify that, and your instance type is T2 micro, which is the smallest, and it's actually generating the security groups and things like that for you. So let's work with Git now. So I am inside a GitHub repo, and as soon as you press Git, you will be able to see all the commands of Git that is available, and you'll be able to see a description of each command as well. Let me type status. You don't have to type, you just select status and press enter, and then it will say that you don't have any changes, nothing to commit. But then let me create a file, and now I want to commit this file. um, and then as soon as you press add, it's just giving which file and which file that you want to commit, and then you actually telling you other folders as well. But then I'll just, and it's showing you that this abc.txt is not yet committed with that red thing. So I'll just press that. And now if I press status, just git right, and I'll just do status, press enter, you see that your file is there, right? And then I want to give a nice prompt. I want to say that create a commit titled my new file abc added, which does XYZ, and then it's actually generating the command for you, which is, git commit m command. I want to execute that. I'll just press enter, and that commit is created. So if I just do git log, it's there. So you don't have to kind of remember all the commands in there. If you have a general idea of how this works, you can just type everything in natural language, and CodeWhisperer command line will be able to help you with all your stuff. Similar things can also work with Docker, and other command line utility. So that was it. I hope you liked the video, and I hope you can use CodeWhisperer command line for improving your command line experience. Thanks a lot for watching.